Okay, so it actually took me a while to get this video done. But yeah, you know what? We're actually here. So you know what? Let's get into it. Becoming the best version of yourself. And you know, I want to look at a backstory of mine. So when I was in campus, I had this ex, and when we broke up, right, she told me, Sash, you have no drive, you have no ambition, you have no passion. I just don't see you having much of a future. And, you know, that really got to me. Not because I was any of those stuff, but because when you hear something like that from someone you deeply care about, you know, we've experienced it, family, friends, past relationships, or whatever. When someone says something that hurtful, it hurts much more. Um, and you know, it took me for a spin, really, and what I like to call the spiral, basically spiraling downwards, becoming the worst version of yourself. Start doing things you don't normally do. You start isolating yourself from everybody. You just sit there and you don't know what to do with yourself. And only when you're right at the bottom is when you realize, damn, you know what, this is a problem. I need to get some help. I need to make a difference. And you know what, that's where it started for me. That's my backstory of how did I get into improving myself? How did I get into meditation and spirituality? I do have another channel on spirituality that I'm gonna link uh, below. But I want to make this channel separate because I know there's people out there that want to improve their lives, but not in a spiritual aspect. So I want to keep the two channels separate, but they are linked. So if you do want to get into more spiritual side of stuff, you can check that channel out. So, you know, when you at your worst, you realize that you do become these negative qualities that people paint you to be. You start to believe them, you start acting out like that. And, you know, it made me realize that I needed to change. You know, what did I do to change? I started meditating. I started to figure out, you know what are the traumas that I have that are bringing up certain qualities. You know, there are other qualities that you may have that aren't related to relationships or aren't related to your family that are holding you back, but you need to figure out, okay, where are these traumas coming from? And knowing how to deal with it is an important way because that is the foundation. Foundation is always dealing with the root cause of your traumas. The next one is, you know, figuring out the type of person I want to be, the type of life I want to have. So what I did was I envisioned myself in the next 10, 15 years. You know, what you can do is envision yourself in the business you want to have or on a holiday somewhere and write down, list it out, the type of qualities that person would have. And then think to yourself, you know what, which qualities do I have and which one do I not have at this moment? And can I start practicing that? Because I may not have that life now, but I will get there eventually. Nothing is stopping me from practicing those qualities, right? So look at it. Discipline, confidence, determination. These are important characteristics that you need to have. You want to progress. You want to become a better version of yourself. You got to trust yourself. have self-belief. And the most important one is self-love. You gotta love yourself. When it comes down to it, you can have issues with friends, family, partners. But if you love yourself, like truly love yourself, no matter what is going around you, nothing will stop you and nothing will get in that way because you are loving yourself. So if you got your own back, nothing's gonna happen. Right? So start with your self-love. Start loving yourself more. Start knowing how to make yourself happy. There's an analogy that I like to use where there's two glasses. So you're in a relationship. So you and your partner are two glasses, right? And say that you are half full, right? And you get together, you are experiencing a whole lot of emotions, love, happiness, excitement, and your glasses are getting filled up, and you're pouring into each other's glasses. So, if someone's having a bad day, you're there to pick them up, and vice versa, and you're always loving that person, they loving you, they creating happy moments. But down the line, you become a demanding person or they become a demanding person. Let's just use the example of them being demanding and they want more and more from you. And at this point, you all are not filling each other's glasses as what it once was. So now it becomes a burden because they keep on asking you to fill up their glass, but there's not much left in your glass to even keep for yourself. So that's important why you need to realize that love and happiness needs to come from you first. You need to ensure that you are loved, you are happy. Then your partner needs to ensure they are loved, they are happy. So then your glasses are always filled. And you're pouring into each other, and there is a balance. Sometimes you need to be there for your partner, or they need to be there for you. But the main takeaway is you know how to take care of yourself. Therefore, there's no burden for anyone to bear. Now, when you're working on yourself, improving yourself, it's not a straight road. It's a cycle. It's going to go up, it's going to go down. You're going to have months where you're up, then there's going to be months where you're down. And that's because when you realize that there are certain things you need to work on and you start to work on them and you start to get a good skill set, good level. We can look at, a video game. When you get to a certain level, you level up and it becomes a bit harder. The skills you used before help you get to a certain point, but there's something new you need to learn to overcome the challenges on that new level. So, like that, you're going to realize there's new things that you need to work on. You need to constantly keep working on yourself because it never stops. Self-improvement never stops. It's always going to be something you're going to need to work on, whether it's your career, relationships, your family, yourself, maybe things in a social setting, your career. There's always something that you can work on and that you should work on. Learning never stops. Never stopped in school, never stopped in university, it doesn't stop in your adult life. You can be 30, you can be 40, you can be 50. Continue to work on yourself. And if you haven't, this is the reason why you should start. Let this video be the reason that you start working on yourself. Doesn't matter where you are in life, what you have, how old you are. Continue to work on yourself. So now if you see me looking away, blanking out, I'm just looking at my notes so that I make sure that I hit every talking point that I want to. But yeah, let's carry on with it. you're gonna create your own world, basically. Now, the world that you experience, the world that your parents experience, yes, they have similar elements, very similar elements, but the way we perceive it is very different. So, therefore, your world and your parents' world completely different. So, you need to start writing down the type of qualities you want to have for yourself, your type of life you want to have for yourself, the goals you want to achieve. You always want to have goals, whether it is for your schoolwork, whether it is for your work, um, or personal goals that you want to set for yourself. You need to have goals. Now, it can be a bit daunting that when we set that goal, we're like, damn, it almost seems impossible. It gives me anxiety. And in that instance, you need to set smaller goals. Yes, there's a main goal, but there's smaller goals that build up to that big goal. And the important thing about that is, there's a saying, the wolf on top of the hill is not as hungry as the wolf still climbing it. And I use that personally. So when I achieve a certain goal, when it comes to my career or myself, I look at another goal because you don't want to be complacent. When you're complacent, you're not moving forward. And if you're staying in one point, well, the world around you is moving forward. So you're going to be moving backwards. You don't want to be complacent. You want to keep moving forward, set new goals, set goals that are easily achievable that build up to your main goal. You're going to get there, definitely. It's like running a marathon, right? My father runs a marathon. He's a marathon runner, so he's going to be, waking up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. That takes determination, that takes discipline, that takes commitment. He's been doing this for years. Now it takes those small goals. Eventually, you build up, start doing short marathons, but longer marathons, and then you get the main marathon, Comrades Marathon. That is your main goal. But you can't just train and then go to the Comrades Marathon. No, you need to do smaller goals before you get there. There's a saying, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. I used to laugh at that saying growing up. I think we all did, but inherently it's true because you become the sum total of what your friends talk about, how you interact. You gravitate around certain topics, you do certain activities, and if your friends are not allowing you to grow or helping you to grow, or they're not allowing you to help them to grow, then you know what, you need to find people that are going to allow you to do that. And even if you don't have friends right now, maybe that's a goal for you to try and make friends. Who are you listening to? The content you are consuming, is it beneficial? Does it make you a better person? Is it allowing you to start a business, improve your career, or maybe helping you with your marks at school? Find people that are going to help you grow. Read books that are going to help you grow. Listen to podcasts that are going to help you grow. That is the important thing. If we come back to looking at school, treat each subject like it's a business. Don't treat it like it's just school and I'm going to pass by. No, you need to do the work. You got to put in the work and treat it like it's your business, or treat it like it's a hobby, or like it's a sport. Make it fun. When I used to study, I used to make it as fun as possible. Listen to music, play football while I'm studying. Try and make it an experience. So then when you're writing your tests and exams, you remember having a good time while studying. You got to do what makes sense to you so that you can do better. So treat school seriously so that you can set up everything else in your life so that you don't have as many hurdles 5-10 years down the line. You know, when we're younger, we focus on girls, status, clothes, pop culture. But the thing is, all of those things are still going to be there 5-10 years time. But your self development and your career, that is all timed. Focus on your school right now and just, forget about, you know, how many girls need to talk to, following the latest trends. Treat it like a business. Get the marks that you need. Get the job that you want. Or start the business that you want, actually. And you'll see everything else in the outside world start to gravitate towards you because you are focusing more on yourself than the outside world. And this lesson is even for people in their late 20s, 30s, 40s, people that are in the workforce. You can do this as well. Focus on your work, focus on yourself. Look at skills that you can learn, professional skills or soft skills to improve yourself around with people, or join certain people that allow you to network and grow, find different opportunities so you can become a better version of yourself, and everything else around you will gravitate towards you that are going to be more beneficial. And the last thing is, you just got to keep going. Don't let anything stop you. Yes, failure does happen. We do fail. It's natural, but failure is a lesson. You shouldn't stop when you reach failure, because if you do stop, ask yourself, is this my goal? Did I reach my goal? If it is my goal, then I can stop. If it's not my goal, then I keep going forward until I do reach my goal. There's always something you can learn from it. It is disheartening when you do fail at something, but it's a strong but. You don't give up. Find the lessons. Figure out how you can improve and reach your goals, because you are never going to stop working on yourself.